What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Salute to everyone tuning in. I want to talk about Skylar Diggins. Okay, Skylar Diggins, WNBA player. She went on social media to complain about back-to-back scheduling and the fact that she had to fly commercial. This has been an ongoing thing in the WNBA where they're complaining about things that they can't get because the league is not profitable. You know, I really wish a lot of these women understood that you have to make money in order to be able to get certain perks. And WNBA players are not getting those perks because they're not making money. And she got pushback. She got pushback in her Twitter comment section. Now, I don't know how it looks now, but yesterday when I checked it out, there were people who were giving her logical responses to her complaints. Okay, calling out the WNBA does nothing. Now, I have said this about the WNBA. They have done a very poor job over the last 10 years or so of promoting the league. They did a better job promoting the league 15 years ago than they did now. You know why? Because they promoted individual players. But because the people at the top are making a good living and they don't have to do much, they're comfortable. But the people who aren't comfortable are the women who have to play in a sport that doesn't pay them the money that they think they're supposed to make. And when the league does a poor job of promoting its players, you're not going to make money. You're going to be in a situation where you're going to be struggling to make more than $200,000 a year because the league loses more money than it makes. Okay? And I've said this over and over about WNBA. You do a poor job of promoting it and you put it in a situation where it can't be profitable. And that is what has happened in WNBA. It has been put in a situation where it's not profitable. And because it's not profitable, those women can't make the money they feel like they deserve to make, which is why you've seen the complaining. But again, you got people who are running that league that don't care. They don't know the first thing about marketing, which is why you need to hire marketing people in certain positions in that sport, in that particular league, in order to push it in the right direction. But they don't. They hire a bunch of virtue signalers who are comfortable at their job. They get that extra money from the NBA. Let's be real. They would not be afloat without the help of the NBA. Now let's get into this article from The Spun. So Skylar Diggins Smith put the WNBA on blast for unfavorable traveling conditions. On Wednesday, the Phoenix Mercury star criticized the league for scheduling road games on consecutive days, following Tuesday's loss to the Washington Mystics. Tell that to baseball players who have to play, a lot of games in a short amount of time. I'm pretty sure the NBA players have had to deal with that as well. Yeah, but following Tuesday's loss to the Washington Mystics, the Mercury went on a flight today to face the Indiana Fever later that evening. Flying in the same day as the game will never sit well with me. Back-to-back games should never be scheduled. Considering we fly commercial, no security, Diggins Smith wrote. The W wants quality high-level basketball, but doesn't seem to value quality of life for its players. There was the owner of the New York WNBA team. I believe he chartered a flight for his players, and he ended up getting in trouble for that because the league does not want these females to do better. That's why I say they have a bunch of people who are comfortable in their jobs, and they're comfortable with the way things are. And the fact that the team owner of the New York team, New York Liberty, got in trouble because he decided to charter a flight for his players. That's how crazy the WNBA is ran. It's ran by a bunch of comfortable corporate people who have comfortable jobs. They virtue signal about equality and complain about They complain about representation because they feel like that's the only marketing that they need. Instead of having business people in that league to run it, to turn a profit, they don't care about that. They just care about doing their virtue signaling and, getting their extra money from the NBA. That's all they care about. They don't care about these ladies. That's why they need to clean house, bring in business people that can maximize the earning potential of the league. But they don't do that because they're comfortable. They don't care. And that's the real change that needs to occur. They need to get people there that actually care about these ladies and want to see these ladies succeed. But the problem is that they have people in that league that don't care about them. The NBA cares more than the WNBA does. The WNBA doesn't care about its players. They love to virtue signal and act like it's a system out there that's trying to oppress these women, when really the major problem that the WNBA has is that other women don't care about the WNBA. If other women actually invested in the WNBA, it might be successful. But you see, women only care about popular things, okay? Women care about popular sports. And those happen to be the NFL and the NBA. They could care less about the WNBA. Y'all, everyone who's listening to this, whether you're male or female, you probably know women who don't even know one player. Scratch that. They probably don't know more than maybe one or two teams in the WNBA. They may know a handful of players because they don't watch it. Women don't watch sports that much anyway. The only reason why they watch is because the guy that they're with likes sports, or they may have played sports themselves. But the fact that they're not getting the female support shows you that women don't care about the sport either. And the virtue signaling definitely needs to stop because other women don't care about it. You don't have I think they had a bigger audience years ago. They don't have it now, again, because they do not promote their players. They want to keep these women at a certain level because a lot of these people are comfortable at their jobs and they don't want to see anything get any better because they know that if it does get better, those women are going to want more and want more. If they can't deliver, then certain people won't have jobs. Those circumstances don't sit well with many WNBA fans. How do you expect a good product flying in the same day and playing a game? Well, tell that to baseball players who play double headers, okay? One fan question, they don't even do that in college. Tell that to baseball players who have to play two back-to-back games against the same team. Like, you're a professional. You're gonna have some situations where you're going to have to go out there and you're gonna have to play more on, just depends. You either love the sport or you don't. If you don't love the sport, then you're not gonna like this. There are people who could play basketball all day long. They don't need a day in between. There are people I know, they'll play basketball all day. They'll play basketball from morning to damn near night. And you got NBA players that would probably play these games. Like, the thing is that they have a players association that cares more, but I just think that, a lot of these women want success. They want the money, but are they really willing to go far as the scheduling is concerned? Here's some of the responses. This is why it's hard for people to push the W messaging when they treat their high-class athletes like this. How are you expected a product flying in the same day and playing a game? They don't even do that in college. The women don't. Say WNBA could be a great league, but those in charge don't really want it to be. That is very true. This is very true. They don't. The people that run the WNBA now, they're okay with how things are. They're on ESPN. They're on ABC. They're comfortable. You got a lot of comfortable people running the WNBA right now. They don't want any better. They don't care about the players. And guess what? There are a lot of women in those higher up positions in WNBA. They don't care. You see, you give a woman a good desk job, give her a nice salary and a cute title. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. They don't care about anybody else but themselves. This one says, if you're going to have a professional women's league, you could at least treat them like professionals. The league's state of travel has been dubiously made news before. Earlier this year, Howard Megdal of Sports Illustrated reported that the WNBA considered terminating the New York Liberty franchise because their owners chartered flights for the players. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is why the WNBA is going to always be a failure that is subsidized by the NBA, who use it as a tax write-off. The NBA used the WNBA as a tax write-off. You're going to destroy your franchise because they decided that they were going to at least charter a flight for their players. That's why I say the people at the top in the WNBA need to go. But the players aren't demanding for it. Why? Because they know that a lot of women would lose their jobs, and they don't want to see that. So they're just going to get on social media and they're going to complain and act like, you know what, things could be better. Yeah, they could be better, but you need to get rid of the people who are running the league. And these women and these players, unfortunately, don't want to do that. They don't want to see those people at the top in the WNBA lose their job, which is fine. You don't want to see anybody get fired, but you have to stop complaining and at some point do something about it. You have to do something about it. You can't just sit there and complain. There was a the Atlanta Dream, I think that's the name of that WNBA team in Atlanta. They got rid of a part owner because she was a conservative. They got rid of her, I believe. So you mean to tell me that you got rid of a WNBA team owner, but you can't get rid of the people who are running the league? Or at least find some new leadership that actually cares about the players? Because it's obvious to me that the people who are running that league could care less about the players. They just care about getting their comfortable salaries. You know, they don't care anything about these women. So getting on social media and complaining about it is not going to change anything. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert later said the league isn't in a financial position to get players out of commercial. I told you, man, this league is a joke. The WNBA is a joke. Of course it's not making money because you've done nothing to promote the league for the last 10 years. ESPN do more to promote your league than you do. You don't highlight your stars. You don't try to put yourself in a position to get people to want to go check out your product. So of course you are financially in the mud every single year. It will be more than $20 million a year to fund charter flights for an entire WNBA season, Engelbert told ESPN's Michelle Vopel. So this is something that we're not going to jeopardize the financial health of the league and be irresponsible about. If we can get it funded by sponsors and supporters, great, but that's not where we are. We do not have that. Well, Kathy, when a WNBA team owner tried to charter flights for his team, you wanted to take the franchise apart. So miss me. They're getting paid they're getting subsidized by the NBA. I'm pretty sure they have sponsors. We need to look at the books and see not only where the money is going, because we know it's going to the players, of course, but I am sure that the league could financially do a little bit better than it's doing. But the problem is nobody watches it. Nobody's buying merch. Nobody's really going to the games. That falls on the commissioner. It's up to the commissioner to make sure the league is about making money and not virtue signaling. Okay, I'm sick and tired of seeing commercials of WNBA players virtue signaling. Who cares? You need to get people to those games. You need to start selling merchandise, Kathy, because what's going to happen is nobody's going to care about your product, Kathy. Nobody has cared about it in probably forever, but they cared more about it years ago than they do now. And that has a lot to do with you, Kathy. And the thing is that now, I will say this though. You go to her comment section, like here, she's getting flamed. And people are basically telling her exactly what I've been saying, is that ultimately this falls on the people that run the WNBA. And getting on Twitter and complaining about it and not holding those people accountable is not going to do anything. It really isn't. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.